down the straight as best they can. The other men are trying to follow it. Mullings and Spearman. Spearman finishing fast. Bolt wins. Bolt wins. And Bolt.
Usain Bolt's world records have been standing for 16 years, and he just told the world he's not worried about anyone breaking them anytime soon. The fastest man in history made this bold statement at a Puma event in Tokyo just 2 days before the 2025 World Championships. When asked if today's sprinters could touch his records, Bolt didn't hesitate. "I'm not worried," he said. "People are trying to get faster and someday it will happen, just not now." Let's talk about these records. Back in 2009 at the World Championships in Berlin, Bolt ran the 100 meters in 9.58 seconds. Then he ran the 200 meters in 19.19 seconds. Both times are still the fastest ever recorded by any human. No one has even come close since then.
Der schnellste aus den Blöcken, jetzt kommt er und jetzt ist Usain Bolt nicht zu halten, nein, er gewinnt! 9,
Here's what makes this even more crazy. Only one other person has ever run under 9.7 seconds in the 100 meters. That's Johan Blake, Bolt's former teammate, who ran 9.69 back in 2012. And in the 200 meters, again, only Blake has run faster than 19.3 seconds. That's it.
Tyson Gay got away well, so did Johan Blake. Blake's going away from this field at the moment, and following him is Tyson Gay, and Blake storming away, gets it, Gay in second place.
Just two people in history have reached these speeds, and one of them is Bolt. To put this in perspective, before Bolt came along, Jim Hines held the 100-meter record at 9.95 seconds. He set that in 1968 at the Olympics. It took 14 years for someone to break it. Bolt's record has now lasted 16 years and counting. It's already more durable than one of the most famous records in track history. So why is Bolt so confident? He's been watching today's top sprinters, and he's clear about what he sees. "I think the talent is there," Bolt explained. "There will be talented athletes coming up, and they will do well. But at this present moment, I don't see any athlete able to break the record." But here's something interesting. Bolt actually thinks one of his records is more vulnerable than the other. When asked about which record might fall first, he said the 200-meter mark is definitely more vulnerable than the 100. But even then, he added, that's a very, very difficult time as well. Now let's talk about technology. Today's sprinters run in special carbon-plated shoes called super spikes. These shoes didn't exist when Bolt was racing. Puma, the company that made Bolt's shoes back then, did some research. They wanted to know how fast Bolt would have run if he wore today's super spikes in Berlin. Their answer? 9.42 seconds. Think about that. That's not even close to what anyone runs today. Bolt agrees with this estimate too. "I fully agree," he said. He pointed to Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, another Jamaican sprinting legend, who got faster after she started using the new spikes. "I probably would have run way faster if I'd continued," Bolt reflected. "Maybe I would have continued just to compete at that level." But Bolt retired in 2017, and since then, no Jamaican man has won a global sprint title. That's a long drought for a country known for producing the world's fastest runners. Two young Jamaican sprinters are trying to change that at these World Championships. First, there's Kishane Thompson. He's 22 years old and stands 6 feet 1 inch tall. In June, Thompson ran 9.75 seconds at the Jamaican Championships. That's the fastest time anyone has run in an entire decade.
Away for the men's 100 final. Kishane Thompson got away well. Kishane Thompson got
It makes him the 5th fastest person of all time. At the Paris Olympics last year, Thompson took silver in the 100 meters, losing to Noah Lyles by just 0.005 of a second. That's basically nothing. Bolt is excited about Thompson's chances. "I think we have a very good chance this year," he said. "Kishane and Oblique have shown they're in top form. They should be 1-2 if they execute." Who's Oblique? That's Oblique Seville, the other Jamaican hope. He's 24 years old and trains with Glenn Mills, the same coach who trained Bolt. Seville is only about 5 feet 7 inches tall, much shorter than most top sprinters, but he's been beating the best in the world. This year, he defeated Noah Lyles twice in major races, once in Poland and once in London. But Bolt has some concerns about Seville. "Oblique can do it," Bolt said. "If he can stay fit through the season and get it right, he can do it because I'm sure there's something there. the ability to do it. The problem? Injuries. Some of the time, Oblique is kind of fragile, Bolt admitted. At the Paris Olympics, Seville looked amazing in the semifinals, even beating Lyles. But then a groin injury hit, and he finished last in the final. Still, Bolt believes in him. He's on the right path. He should get better and better, Bolt said. The coach believes in him. It's up to the athlete now to put it all together. Then there's Noah Lyles from the United States. He's the only sprinter brave enough to publicly say he wants to break Bolt's records. Back in 2023, Lyles said he was aiming for 9.65 in the 100 meters and 19.10 in the 200 meters. I have a good reason to believe I'm going to do something I've never done before, he declared. Lyles did win both the 100 and 200 meters at the 2023 World Championships, just like Bolt used to do, and his 200-meter time of 19.31 makes him the third fastest person ever in that event. He even broke Michael Johnson's American record that had stood since 1996, but he's still nowhere near Bolt's 19.19. This year hasn't been perfect for Lyles either. He's been beaten by both Thompson and Seville. His best 100-meter time this season is 9.90 seconds, which is good, but not record-breaking. Bolt doesn't seem too bothered by Lyles' confidence. When asked about the Americans' trash talk, Bolt laughed it off. I don't think Noah is as crazy as dealing with Justin Gatlin, he said, referring to his old rival. As you know, I never listen to anybody. I know when I'm preparing and I'm ready. You can say whatever you want. You're not going to beat me. There's even a funny detail about the medal ceremony. Bolt said he'd love to present the gold medal to the winner on Sunday, but whether he actually does it might depend on who wins. If it's Lyles on top of the podium, Bolt might be busy somewhere else. Another American sprinter in the mix is Kenny Bednarek. He's 26 and just ran a career-best 9.79 seconds at the U.S. Championships. That's fast. But here's the thing. Until Bednarek beats the likes of Lyles, Thompson, or Seville at a major global championship, he hasn't proven he belongs at the very top. Now, let's talk about the teenager everyone's comparing to Bolt. His name is Gout Gout, and he's only 17 years old. He's from Australia, stands 6 feet tall, and runs with an upright style that looks just like Bolt's. Australian media is already calling him their hope for the 2032 Olympics in Brisbane, but Bolt is urging everyone to slow down. It's always easy when you're younger, he warned. I was there. I used to do great things when I was young, but the transition to senior from junior is always tougher. Bolt knows what he's talking about. Even though he was talented as a teenager, he didn't become a global superstar until he was 22. That's when he broke the 100-meter world record and won both sprints at the Beijing Olympics. It's all about if you get the right coach, the right people around you, if you're focused enough, Bolt explained. There will be a lot of factors to determine if he's going to be great. Despite the warning, Bolt is happy to see new talent emerge. He's very talented with the times he's running now, Bolt said about gout. The more athletes do well, the bigger the sport is, and I'm always a supporter of track and field getting bigger and doing bigger things. So is Bolt right? Will his record stand for many more years? Looking at the current field, it's hard to argue with him. The fastest 100-meter time this year is Thompson's 9.75. That's still 0.17 seconds slower than Bolt's record. In sprinting, that's a massive gap. To break Bolt's 100-meter record, someone would need to run more than a full tenth of a second faster than they've ever run before, and they'd have to do it on the biggest stage, under the most pressure. That's not impossible, but it's incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
My start is equivalent. It's very fast, and then my finish is equivalent to Noah Lyles' finish, so he's not going to catch me.
Oblique Seville just sent a powerful message to the sprinting world, and Noah Lyles is right in the middle of it. The Jamaican star isn't holding back anymore, making it clear that this rivalry goes far beyond speed. It's personal. It's about pride, redemption, and proving who truly owns the track. With his latest comments, Seville has turned up the heat on one of the most intense battles in modern sprinting. For years, fans have debated who would rise as the next sprint king after Usain Bolt's retirement in 2017. Noah Lyles made a strong case with his dominance in the 200 meters and his explosive gold medal win in the 100 meters at the Paris 2024 Olympics. But just a year later, at the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo, it was Oblique Seville who flipped the script and then dropped the mic.
One. Thompson's in the driving seat here, but watch Seville on the near side. It's ever so close. Seville from Thompson. Lyles at last.
In the biggest race of the year, Seville scorched the track with a personal best of 9.77 seconds to claim the gold in the men's 100 meters. Noah Lyles, the reigning Olympic champion, had to settle for bronze, finishing in 9.89. And Seville didn't just win. He made sure the world knew it was no fluke. In a post-race interview with Coach's Deck TV, Seville was asked about the growing rivalry with Lyles. His response was cold and calculated. Noah Lyles is going too hard to beat me. If you check the analysis of the race, my start is very fast, and then my finish is the equivalent to Noah Lyles' finish, so he's not going to catch me. I analyze myself as an athlete, I don't study other athletes, but I know about this sport. That's the kind of talk we haven't heard since the Bolt era, and coming from a sprinter who's been quietly grinding in the shadows for years, it hit hard. Rewind to just a year earlier. At the 2024 Paris Olympics, Lyles was the one standing atop the podium after running a blazing 9.79 seconds. Seville, meanwhile, faded to 8th place with a time of 9.91. Afterward, Lyles took a subtle jab, saying Seville was panicking in the back during the heats. At that point, the gap between them seemed clear. But Seville remembered, and he was plotting his revenge. Fast forward to Tokyo. Seville had a shaky start in the heats, barely qualifying for the semifinals, but when it mattered most, he locked in. In the semifinals, he silenced critics by running a confident 9.86, putting a finger to his lips as if to say, "Sush, I am back." And when the finals came, he exploded. 9.77, gold. A new world-leading time. After the race, Seville opened up about his motivation. "When I saw what Lyles said, I was like, damn, Jesus Christ, I want him to be in my semifinals. I was praying for it. I was praying to get his semifinals because I was just going to show him something. I like the rivalry. You know that I like it. That's not just competition, it's personal." And while Seville was basking in the glow of his first global 100-meter title, Lyles remained gracious. He took to X to post, "I got nothing but the joy of the Lord in my heart. It has been a very challenging year. Being able to give my all on the race that meant the most is all I can ask for." Lyles went on to win the 200-meter final with a time of 19.52, securing his 4th straight world title in that event. But in the 100 meters, the balance has shifted. Oblique Seville, now 24, has quietly built a resume that demands respect. Coached by the legendary Glenn Mills at Racers Track Club, the same coach who molded Usain Bolt, Seville has been on a steady climb. He broke through in 2019 with golds at the Carifta Games and silver at the Pan Am U20 Championships. He made finals in both the 2022 and 2023 World Championships, finishing 4th both times. That back-to-back heartbreak in global finals might have broken some athletes, but for Seville, it was fuel. He trained harder, refined his mechanics, and came back stronger. In 2024, he dropped his 200-meter best to 19.96 in Atlanta and 20.13 in Miramar. He also won the Racers Grand Prix in Kingston, defeating Lyles with a then world-leading 9.82 seconds. Then came 2025, his breakout year. At the Jamaican Championships, he clocked 9.83 to finish 2nd behind Kishane Thompson, showing his form was peaking. A month later at the London Athletics Meet, part of the Diamond League, Seville again bested Lyles and Lyles Tobago with a 9.86 performance. That same dominance continued in Lausanne, where in wet conditions, he still managed to run 9.87, while the rest of the field couldn't even break 10 seconds. His performances weren't one-offs, they were proof of consistency under pressure. And while Lyles is known for his explosive top-end speed and charisma, Seville is the quiet storm, reserved, focused, and deadly accurate when the gun goes off. It's also worth noting that Seville's rise hasn't come easy. He had to overcome the COVID-19 disruption in 2020, then bounce back from early career injuries. His progression has been methodical. From Calabar High School to the world stage, he's always had the physical tools. What's changed is his mental edge. He's more confident, more tactical, and he no longer sees Lyles or any other competitor as unbeatable. In fact, Seville now relishes the challenge. So everyone knows that when I got into the semifinals, I said, if I get this good start, I know I can run at like 60% of the race and take it on from there easily. So, I did that in the semi-finals," he explained. That moment wasn't just about advancing. It was about sending a message. And send a message he did. Fans are already calling the Seville-Lyles dynamic the most exciting rivalry since Bolt and Gatlin. But this one has more parity. Lyles is a proven champion in the 200 meters, while Seville now rules the 100 meters. Their styles are different. Lyles thrives off showmanship and late-race surges. Seville is about execution, explosiveness, and quiet dominance. Beyond the rivalry, Seville's emergence is reigniting Jamaica's dominance in sprinting. After Bolt's retirement, there was a noticeable dip in Jamaican male sprinting. But with Seville's rise and Kishane Thompson pushing him closely, the island nation is once again a powerhouse. This new wave of talent isn't just filling a void, it's redefining the sprint scene. Meanwhile, Lyles is still Lyles, hungry, charismatic, and supremely gifted. He continues to push boundaries and his mental toughness is second to none. But now, he faces a challenger who not only wants to beat him, but believes he already has the formula to keep doing it. What happens next is anyone's guess. The 2027 World Championships are shaping up to be another showdown, and the LA 2028 Olympics could be the decider in what's already a classic sprint rivalry. Will Lyles reclaim the 100-meter title? Or will Seville continue his takeover? Whatever happens, one thing is certain. The era of one-man domination is over. We're now in the age of rivalry-fueled greatness, and at the center of it are two men pushing each other beyond their limits. Seville has dropped the bombshell. He's no longer chasing. He's leading. This is more than a sprint. It's a statement. And Oblique Seville has just made his loudest one yet. This 7-year-old kid has been breaking records everywhere, and everyone's been asking the same question: where will we see him race next? Well, we finally have our answer, and it's going to be huge. Gout Gout just told the world he's going to the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, and trust me, this is a big deal. But here's where it gets interesting. Everyone thought Gout would skip the Commonwealth Games. Why? Because the dates are tricky. The Commonwealth Games run from July 23rd to August 2nd in 2026, and right after that, from August 5th to 9th, there's the World Junior Championships in the United States. That's the big one for young athletes. That's where Usain Bolt made his name back in 2002. So people figured Gout would pick one. You can't do both, right? Wrong. Gout's manager, James Templeton, just dropped the news. He said, "We are planning that Gout will be available to run an event in Glasgow before going on to the World Juniors in Eugene. Gout will race the 100 meters at the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. Then he'll hop on a plane to the United States and run the 200 meters at the World Juniors. 2 big races, 2 different countries, all in 1 week. That's insane. But that's Gout Gout. Let me tell you a bit more about this kid because his story is pretty amazing. Gout was born in Ipswich, Australia. His parents came from South Sudan back in 2005 looking for a better life, and they found it. Gout grew up loving video games. He played Fortnite, Minecraft, and Zelda. He says he was a hard gamer before he was a track athlete, but somewhere along the way he found running, and he was really, really good at it. When he was just 14 years old, he ran the 100 meters in 10.57 seconds. That's crazy fast for a kid that young. People started paying attention. Then, last year at the World Under-20 Championships, he ran the 200 meters in 20.6 seconds. You know what's wild about that? That's faster than Usain Bolt ran when he was 15. Bolt ran 20.61, Gout beat him by 0.01 seconds. And it gets better. In December 2024, Gout broke an Australian record that had been standing since 1968. That's 56 years. The record belonged to Peter Norman, who got a silver medal at the Olympics. His time was 20.06 seconds. Gout ran 20.04 seconds. New record. But he wasn't done. This year, in June, he went to the Czech Republic for a race in a place called Ostrava, and he ran even faster. He clocked 20.02 seconds, another new Australian record, and get this, that time makes him the 6th fastest under-20 athlete in history. Let that sink in. 6th fastest ever for someone under 20 years old. People started calling him the next Usain Bolt. Videos of his races went viral, millions of views. Everyone wanted to know about this kid from Australia who runs like the wind. So when the World Athletics Championships came to Tokyo this year, everyone was excited. This would be Gout's first big race against the best runners in the world, not just kids his age, the best of the best. Before the race, Gout did a big media day with Adidas. They're his sponsor.